Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, if you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as their link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does actually see through with their threat. All right, folks, trigger warning one. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. All right, folks, where we left off the other day. Where data represent a relatively small number of individuals, detailed systematic observations are critical to reducing uncertainty regarding results. In other words, they should have provided for the controls in regards to the effects that the nonviolent treatment program is causing. Because they didn't plan for these types of controls, again, the study's not worth the poor trees that had to be come down in order to provide the paper for it. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Yet the information submitted by JRC fails to include important details regarding how the data were collected and recorded. Boom. We have only just trust my word, bruh. Right? Because the data was not collected by by somebody who was an objective party. Of course, they can skew the numbers in their favor. It wouldn't be the first time by a long shot. This creates considerably uncertainty as to its significance and rehabilitation and prevents us from drawing clinically meaningful conclusions regarding the benefits of the GED from the limited data provided in the case summaries. In other words, because we cannot prove that it was the GED that caused the reduction in behaviors instead of one of the other treatment programs that they may be on, it literally tells us nothing in regards to the effects of the GED device. Duh. Right? Duh. This creates cat is photobombing cat. He goes meow. Sorry. He's a good kitty. So let me get back to where we are. For example, the information lacks key details regarding the time at which the device was applied, the specific behaviors targeted, behaviors that occurred prior to administration of shocks, and criteria for counting behaviors, the number of electrodes, and then the location on their body, which ESD model was used, frequency and duration of data collection, and who determined a behavior to be SIB or AB. In other words, all the shit that the JRC did not do. Right? They don't, because remember, folks, they're going to say, but they do. They mark it in the paperwork, and then the paperwork, it is so vague that it could be stretched to mean literally anything. So that's pretty much what they're saying here. You're not detailing what these kids are actually getting shocked for. You're giving a vague justification and simply doing empty paperwork. Waste of good trees. Just saying. Just saying is all. All right, let me get back to where we were. All right. Who determined the SIB? Who recorded the count, the data, and the medical training or qualifications of those recording data to evaluate the residents? So we didn't even get an idea of their credentials and whether or not they were non-biased objective parties or whether they were in connection with the JRC, because we have no way of knowing that. The JRC did not disclose it. Yeah. Yeah, just saying. The information submitted to the FDA suggests that the JRC often applied multiple devices at once to single individuals, but the submissions do not explain why this was necessary or how the number of devices was determined. The submissions only provide gross detail. For example, that shocks were indicated for health dangerous behavior. So remember what I told you about their vague ass terminology and how it can be construed to mean literally whatever the hell the staff says it does? That's what they're saying here. Health dangerous behavior tells me jack shit. Okay. How was it dangerous to the health? What did they do? What was the action? Details, folks. Finally, the charts include little information regarding the individuals and their behaviors before and after ESD use, making it difficult to draw conclusions regarding how the devices affected the target behaviors. So, all the fail safes and controls that are part of a regular clinical study, even if it's a small study, goes through all the things that the FDA just stated there. Once again, the GED device has gone through none of it. They're also explaining why you can't use Dr. Israel's so-called like bad acid trip of a science experiment gone wrong as a good qualifier for data in regards to the risks of using the GED device. Okay? And you're making them explain why in like 7 million different ways. My God, I'm exhausted reading it, right? So, because there's no controls in place, folks. Because we have no way of knowing, because there are no controls in place, whether the decrease in behaviors was from the nonviolent treatment program or for the violent treatment program. You really can't make any form of determination in regards to its so-called success from that data piece there, right? You can't make that conclusion because the controls were not provided for in regards to those treatment programs. Nor was there even a compare and contrast between the punishment model and the positive behavioral reinforcement model. Literally none of that happened. So That's another reason why this study is no good and literally tells us nothing. It's a waste of time and waste of poor trees. Because that study does not hold up even to the lightest of scrutiny. Okay? So, quit bringing forward Dr. Israel's cooked up, bizarre study and insisting that that's what's causing the improvements when that study and that data does not back that up because no controls were put in place from the positive interventions. All right, we're going to go ahead and close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get to get removed from time to time. So if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a minute. Bye bye, everyone.